Welcome back to another video. If you're new, my name is Leah and I am all about spending less, creating more, and sharing with you how you can do the same thing in your kitchen or hotel room. This is our third annual video that I am sharing with you on how we spend Thanksgiving in a hotel. We usually go to a really big conference. We spend Thanksgiving and the whole week of Thanksgiving with so many friends and family members from across the nation. And that means that our Thanksgiving dinner is either going to be in a restaurant that is open on Thanksgiving or something that we prepare in our hotel room. Now, one thing that I am a big advocate for in traveling is to cook your own meals, to bring your own snacks, to eat things that you've already prepared for on the road. We always have a cooler with us. We pack it full of snacks, things that we can put into the hotel fridge. And then if there is no microwave, you have to get creative and pack things that can be cooked in a crock pot, an Instant Pot, or go down to the community microwave. A lot of hotels have those nowadays. But I'm going to be sharing with you how our family eats delicious and frugal food for the week of Thanksgiving.
All right, it's always a little overwhelming at the beginning, but these are all of the food items that we're going to be bringing. I'm also taking our espresso maker, our coffee beans.
Now, in preparation for packing all of this, I needed to do some cooking, and nothing hard by any means. I already did all of the grocery shopping, and I will have that video posted down in the description box for you so you can catch up on part 1 of this vlog if you want to. That's just the whole shopping process. But now we're going to get into the cooking part. So I already had potatoes on hand. I'm going to use the larger ones for our mashed potatoes for our dinner. We're going to peel, dice, and boil. Now, you do not have to peel yellow potatoes to have delicious mashed potatoes, but I am going to peel these for more of a traditional style like my mom makes. And then we're going to chop them up fairly large. Next, I'm going to get our carrots prepped. We don't need a whole lot of them, but this will be one of our side dishes at our Thanksgiving dinner. Now, I am using some of the deli turkey meat that I picked up the other day, as well as the ground beef and some chicken from my freezer. This is just boneless, skinless chicken breast. That is going to be our proteins for the week as far as meat goes. I need to get this into my Instant Pot. Once this is cooked up, I'm going to be able to use this for chicken salad sandwiches. Then I'm going to cook up the ground beef and I will season it with taco seasoning. Now, while everything is cooking, I've got the oven preheating. I am about to whip up the protein muffin. So the ground beef is going to go toward 2 of our dinners at the hotel, and the rest I'm going to put into the freezer to use for spaghetti when we get back from vacation. So once this cools down a bit, I will put it into some Ziploc bags and then freeze them overnight before our trip. I have my baby carrots parboiled, and I'm just going to add a spoon of brown sugar and a pat of butter. Next, I'm going to mash the potatoes. I'm just adding a couple tablespoons of butter, and then I will use my beater attachment to blend these up. I'm going to add some salt.
And then I also added some milk, but that did not get put on camera. And then once it cooled down a bit, I added that to a bag as well. That way it would travel easy and we were able to just pop it into the crock pot later.
All of the chicken that I have cooked in the Instant Pot, I'm just going to shred it up with my KitchenAid. Of course, you could do this with a hand mixer as well, or just shred it old style. I just love that all of my chicken can get shredded in less than 10 seconds. I won't be using all of this for chicken salad. I'm going to put some into my freezer so I can use it for another meal. So I am just making the chicken salad with mayo, some milk, salt, and pepper, and some diced onion.
I also decided to add some apples and get that into my Tupperware container and fridge until it was time to pack the cooler.
Next, I'm making these really easy protein muffins in different sizes. And for that, it is a box of the protein Kodiak muffin mix and a protein shake. And seriously, guys, that is it. It's the only 2 ingredients that we're going to use, and these will bake up beautifully. I still had some batter left over, so I put some in a regular size muffin pan too, and I'm just going to keep an eye on them for cook time. Sectioned everything off to the categories. Like, this is one of our dinners. The turkey is going for another meal as well, but this is for our Thanksgiving dinner. Make sure that I have anything that we need for it. So I made sure I grabbed the can opener, Our breakfast items, I have all of our homemade muffins. We have milk that's shelf stable. These are also shelf stable. The protein shakes. We have our coffee items, and then the fruit to go with it. These could also be for a snack. For lunches, I have the croissants, the homemade chicken salad. We have the peanut butter, the bread, chips to go with it, fruit, like I said. Another meal is going to be tacos and a nacho night. So for one of them, we're going to need the tortillas, or we're going to use the tortilla chips, but I still have to pick those up. So I'm using some queso or some white Velveeta from the fridge. We'll have that in the crock pot along with Rotel. Use that for nacho night. And then we have all the toppings like the salsa that I'm picking up, sour cream. We have the shredded cheese and the sour cream, the lettuce. We'll have the salsa, hot sauce, and the tortillas to go with our taco night. So here is our taco meat, so that way it stays nice and cold on the drive down. The lettuce already shredded up, easy for me. And then the chips are all individually bagged. Just makes it easy for portioning while we're there, but we had them already, so that's why we're using them. So I've got some barbecue, we have plain, we have the nacho cheese flavor. I also have the protein chips that Dakota wanted. These are spicy and they're pricey for sure. They're spicy and pricey. I have the Cool Whip to go with the coffee and our pumpkin pie. The pumpkin pie is already out in the car. I left it out there. We have drink mixes and snack bars, protein bars, Lara bars, granola bars. I have some peanuts for a snack and some beef jerky. That way we got some extra protein during the day as needed. And then some other items that I want to make sure that we have on hand would be some seasoning, just some salt and pepper if we need it. Some spray for when we're cooking in the crock pot. I've also got the crock pot liners. There's 6 of them in here. And I have some trash bags. Since the hotel just has little bags, just in case we need them. I have paper towel to help us keep clean. We have some silverware, plastic silverware, paper plates. I'm also bringing a couple of serving spoons so that way we can dip up what we make or stir it as it's cooking. Then I just start packing everything up in a nice big tub with a lid. So then that is all of our non-refrigerated items. And that leaves us, once I go and get the salsa and chips, that will leave us just these items. So it's much more manageable. It doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. And I am leaving out some of these easily accessible in the car because this is what we're also eating on the way down, just a few of these. We'll have a couple left for another day, but we're going to have some chicken salad croissants. Now, I like to always pack our cooler with us. We actually like to put stickers on it every time we go somewhere, so it's really fun. But I will pack up our own ice in gallon bags. That way they don't melt everywhere, but I also don't have to get, huge ice packs. And this is just what we use all in around our food. I can pack a couple more of these on top. I am pre-cutting all of our croissants as well and taking along a spoon to dip out our chicken salad on the road. I've got a peanut butter sandwich for Sissy because she doesn't like chicken salad. So that one's ready to go for her. And then I pulled out some chips that we're going to have on the road. So I'm going to put everything for our travel lunch into our travel cooler bag. It's actually pretty cool. It's a backpack. So I'm going to put some ice in here. That'll keep our drinks cold and we'll be ready to keep the chicken salad in here, actually. Then we have this massive bag. It actually works out really well for our 3-part crock pot.
Thank you, T-Mobile.
Yeah, thank you.
Just a few more last minute snacks as we walk out the door and we are ready for our road trip. This year, Maylin loved getting to unpack the coolers and stocking up the fridge. It was her job and she was all about it. She did such a great job, but quite the little Miss Independent for sure. The next morning, after our first hotel night stay, we got up and went to our favorite bagel shop. It is our yearly tradition. We go to Proper Bagel in Nashville every Thanksgiving. We have introduced it to several of our friends and family. because it is just so important to us to get to go. When we first moved to Tennessee from up north, I quickly realized that I would have to learn how to make homemade bagels because there were no shops near us. Nashville was the closest, and there's nothing like a homemade bagel. They are not like what you get at the grocery store. Even the wide variety of cream cheeses here are all homemade and 10 times better than Philadelphia. So if you're ever in the area, make sure you give this place a try. And those of you who know about good bagel shops, then you know they are worth it. They are so good. And I love all of the choices that you can get here, the different combinations. So usually we will get a few extra sides of cream cheese just to try them out or to be able to have a variety on our bagels. Like Malin and I love to share a bagel and a few different dips to go with it. After breakfast, we drove around and we found a Kroger. That way we could pick up some to-go coffee cups. I forgot to get any before our trip, and we definitely needed some. The hotel room that we stayed in no longer had lids for our coffee cups. They used to, and we definitely wanted to have lids for them as we were walking around during the conference. And we did not want to have to use our cups from home because then they would have to be washed and just not very convenient during a conference. But this was a really cool experience. The kids really got a kick out of this grocery store because it had 2 levels. It was just a regular Kroger, but it had groceries and things on the top floor. Now, the way room availability worked out this year, we needed to stay across the street at the inn and then check in over at the big convention center the next day, which was no problem. They allowed us to go swimming even past our checkout time, which was really nice. But we had to do something with all of that food that we had brought. So we used our gallon Ziploc bags, reused them with the vending machine ice, got all of our food packed up out into the car, and we allowed ourselves to go out for lunch at Chili's. It's a chili! Now, we decided to stick around the mall for just a little while longer, and we had leftovers, so we were going to put those in the car, use that for some of our later snack or to go with our dinner that night. So then we just ended up exploring at the mall for a little bit, and the cotton candy art was so cool. I saw it in someone's video when they were in New York, and seeing it here was a surprise. Now, we did not get it for ourselves, but we did take the kids over to the candy store, let them pick out a quarter pound. It was like $8, I think, and it was a fun experience for them. It's really great to be able to save money on eating out and just using that money for our groceries for the hotel room, because then I don't feel so bad about spending extra money on other treats and fun experiences. We have taken the kids to the aquarium restaurant before. We did the Build-A-Bear another year, and those are just some fun things that we like to utilize our time and our money for. Now, in the hotel room this year, I was blown away by the slow cooker liners. I've never used them before. They are multi-purpose sizes, like you can do them in a regular crock pot. This is a smaller crock pot because it's a 3-pack, and it made cleanup a breeze. So I just popped in our cooked taco meat into one of them. I only did part of it because I wanted to use the rest for another dinner. And I let that reheat while we were at conference that night. And then when we came back to the room, we were able to use all of our toppings and just make our own tacos. It was so fast, and we were eating while everyone else was still waiting for a table. Now, I actually ended up using the leftover chicken tenders from Chili's and made myself a salad since we already had lettuce. I had leftover ranch from the restaurant too, so I just topped all of that together, and it was so good. I didn't even have to microwave the chicken, which was great. That night, we took the kids to Soundwave, so we ended up having a group rate, and the tickets were specially priced for our conference group, and it was so much fun. We've gone here once before, and I definitely recommend it. It's amazing. They have so many lifeguards, so many options for people of all ages and sizes, and it was Weston's first time doing the wave thing. I don't remember what it's called, but it was so cute. The kids had such a blast, and they slept so good that night. And of course, like I said, we brought our coffee maker. It's our espresso maker. It grinds the beans fresh for us. It works just as simply as a Keurig, but delicious. So that was something we were able to do as many times throughout the day as we wanted to. Breakfast was super simple between some shelf-stable strawberry milk, fruit, those protein muffins that I made, which actually do need to stay in the refrigerator so that they will not mold super fast. Just keep that in mind. And I also like to have the protein bars and protein shakes on hand. After breakfast is when I start putting all of our lunch ingredients into the crock pot so our food is ready when we get back from our morning service. So on Thanksgiving, I started with the crock pot liner to make it super easy to clean up once again. And I literally just put the dry cornbread dressing mix into the crock pot with the amount of water that it calls for and no butter. And I put it on low for just a few hours. You could put it on high for less hours, and it turns out so good. I wouldn't leave it unattended for too long, but a couple hours was fine. And I used that super thick cut deli turkey. Prima Della is the one I used. I think it has a great texture. And I just layered that in one of the other crock pots with the gravy that I purchased. I also have all of the carrots and the mashed potatoes that I pre-cooked at home into the other crock pot with the liner. And after just a few hours, we came back to the room and we had the most delicious dinner. I know a few other families that ended up doing the same kind of thing as us, just different ingredients or bringing their own microwave. And it helped us so much with money, but also with our time. While other people were waiting for their Cracker Barrel pickup or waiting for a table at Paula Deen's, we were able to just walk around the convention center, all over the hotel in different areas, view all of the beautiful sights, and just experience the hotel instead of feeling like we had to rush from one place to get to another place and wait, to rush to another place and wait. We enjoyed our trip so much. This is something we look forward to every year, and it's really easy to get exhausted during this trip, even when you're not rushing around. It's just a full, eventful week. So I was really appreciative, and so was my family, of the fact that we were able to just take it easy and come back to the hotel room to our home-cooked meal. At that point, all I had to do was just fluff up the dressing that we had made in there. It was so perfect. The gravy was just the right amount, and it tasted delicious. I wasn't sure about the flavor when I purchased it, but it was a winner. It's definitely good. And then I had to pop open that can of Ocean Spray brand whole berry cranberry sauce. I have tried other store brands and it's just not that great. So definitely splurge for the Ocean Spray, and oh my gosh, everything was so delicious. So definitely give that a try. Of course, I also brought dessert. I had a few of our gingerbread flavored sugar cookies that I made. My mom sent a pumpkin roll and I purchased that pumpkin pie. So we had plenty of dessert. We ended up bringing that downstairs into the convention area and shared with some friends and had a wonderful time with everybody. And of course, what is Thanksgiving without leftovers? Of course, we enjoyed more time in the hotel. We had service that night, and then afterward, we came home to the room and had leftovers. Just kept it on warm in the crock pot and it was ready for us later. Now, while this resort does not have complimentary breakfast or parking even, one thing it is not lacking in is food options. Everything from sit-down restaurants to take and go, Cinnabon, Auntie Anne's. They even have markets where you can buy things like yogurt and fruit, chips and energy drinks and diapers. They even have multiple restaurants on each floor, so many Starbucks and coffee shops. You could absolutely spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars every day feeding your family without having to bring a single thing with you. They've got you covered for a price. And the restaurants look beautiful. I'm sure they are delicious. And one day I told Dakota I really want to try wasabi. It is a sushi place. I've heard it's phenomenal. But after a long, busy day, honestly, coming home to a frugal peanut butter sandwich or homemade chicken salad with some fruit and chips, crawling up into bed, reading a book or watching a Christmas movie, I mean, that is pretty fantastic. Now, the last meal that I prepared in our crock pot for dinner was nachos. I just did the whole can of Rotel, but I could have used half a block of the white Velveeta. You could use any kind you like. And I topped it off with Colby Jack, which isn't necessary, but it definitely gave some great flavor. In another one of the lined crock pots, I put in the rest of our taco meat. And then I also warmed up the tortilla chips in another part of the crock pot as well. It just made them a little more fresh tasting. So delicious. Kept that on warm. The other two I had on high. And then while that was cooking, we took off and had a nice little treat from Auntie Anne's. Got some ice cream, some soft pretzels, walked around, went to church, and then came back to the room that night for some late night nachos. So hopefully you were able to find this video fun and festive and also give you some inspiration to spend less and create more no matter where you're at. And of course, until the next video, I'll see you in those comments.